Number one Ibble Dibble here. Hello, friends. As you may know, in a coup de grace never before achieved by any sugar, I was recently unmasked. To add insult to injury, according to our Bulgarian friends, at the hands of the most illiterate Bulgarian on the internet, who nevertheless managed to reveal my true identity as a hater witch. Coming from the hater coven, most of my spells are harmless, but hateful. Favorites include cursing people with an obsession over finding the right mom shorts, or perhaps a tendency to incorrectly correct pronunciations they hear on YouTube. I don't conjure anything as calamitous as a literal princess degrading herself into a B-list LA influencer. That's above my pay grade. I'd have to ask Lady C permission to try that kind of thing. But if an ancient warlock or sorceress does the work, I will show my support by calling forth the sigils, mostly from 80s and 90s American comedies.
First, you gotta do the truffle shuffle.
Truffle, 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 truffle.
Truffle, 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 truffle. Come on! Do it! Do it!
So it was no surprise to me when commenter Roxana asked for lottery numbers. Yes, that is my side hustle, PayPal link below. But also pointed out that my prophecy of March 16th, 2023, titled Why Duchess Meghan Dresses Like a Rich Granny, has 2 years and 1 week later, you know Meghan is always late, come to pass. If you're curious about how affiliate marketing works and what exactly is going on with Meghan's little ShopMy, do watch at least the second half of that video. It's linked in a card in the upper right corner of this screen and in the description box below. As I said in my last video, I've been afraid to look at Meghan's Instagram because, as a mere witchling, I still fear what hell hath wrought. But today I brewed
Some lacinato kale
into
that starchy pasta water.
and put on,
10 pounds of joy.
so I felt
This is single skillet spaghetti.
Single skillet spaghetti.
single skillet spaghetti
Joy.
and decided to take a look. First, I checked out aswhatever.com, assuming that's what you all were talking about. Nope, still not launched. Perhaps launch dates were contractually arranged with Netflix in advance, perhaps not. But if I were Ted Sarandos, I'd be seething a bit that she's trying to capture the spending power of her audience on her own before the As Ever launch. Let's be serious, there are only so many Meghan fans with only so much money. And if they blow it all on a linen pirate blouse, they're not going to spend it on a pastel enameled skillet. Next, I headed over to Instagram, figuring she would have a link in bio or something. I can cover the aesthetics of her Insta in one sentence. It's not my thing. But beyond my personal taste, it's not differentiated from any other yummy mummy tradwife type content. So if she's going to make a buck, she's going to do it on the rabid stands. There are always a few for any celebrity, or volume. Personally, I don't think she can really do volume. Regarding the integrity of the account, do you remember this scandal almost a year ago when she first launched as American Riviera Orchard and quickly amassed about 500,000 followers despite not having any posts or products? And a PR executive eventually came out saying that around 13 or 14% of her followers were clearly bots. Eventually, like everything else, there was a new scandal with her and we all forgot about it, but it looks to me like she never stopped paying the bot farms, and her following has steadily increased to where it sits now at 2.6 million, making me think today an even higher proportion of her followers are fake. Let's use simple common sense. If 2.6 million unique viewers total watched at least a couple minutes of With Love Meghan, every single one of them would have had to convert into an Instagram follower for this follower count to be authentic. The odds of that are nigh on impossible. A fantastic platform conversion rate is around 30%. Most influencers can only pull 10, maybe 15. But let's pretend. Let's live in megalomania land. Let's pretend Meghan is as magic as she thinks she is and pulled a superhuman 40% conversion from Netflix to Instagram. That's still just 1,040,000. Now let's pretend, I'm going all the way into La La Land tonight. Let's pretend that all the 500,000 followers she had before from doing absolutely fuck all were authentic followers. And there is somehow zero overlap between the few who were really true blue fans checking for her years after Harry and Meghan came out, yet years before With Love Meghan debuted. That still only brings us to 1.5 million followers. This 2.6 million follower count is not real. Sorry. I don't need to say it's not realistic or it might not be real. This is not authentic. In fact, it's as bulked up with store-bought generics as her bath salts. I think the reason she's not allowing comments isn't because she's the most bullied woman in the world. It's so marketing professionals can't see her engagement stats. When engagement, meaning likes and comments, is crazy low, or most comments are 4 to 5 copy pastes made by hundreds of different accounts, or there's a very weird preponderance of illiteracy for an English language influencer like Meghan. Those are all not just indicators, but proof that followers and engagement are being paid for. Just clicking through the few followers I can see, because we can only see the most recent 50 followers. When we click, only Meghan's team can see the whole list. It's at least 10%, extremely obvious, not trying to hide it at all. Opened yesterday, set to public bot accounts. Here's an example of what that looks like. And here's another. And here's yet another. If you just sit around on her page for a little while and click on the ones like this, you'll get a feel for what proportion of her following is shameless bot purchasing. In addition, some bot accounts are a little bit higher quality. They're set to private, so it's a bit harder to tell if it's a bot or just a private person, but all those bots have to do is steal a single profile photo per account, all follow each other to have credible numbers, and then follow Meghan. The tip-off is usually if the account was created rather recently. In Meghan's case, a suspicious number of her followers coincidentally only joined Instagram in either January or March 2025. Has a keyboard smash type username and or has undergone name changes. And again, we can only see the 50 most recent followers, so it's impossible to extrapolate accurately. But I'd estimate 20% or more of what I see is this type of bot. So in my estimation, she's between 20 and 30% paid for engagement. Then there's the issue of how many followers are fellow businesses or public figures and how many are hate follows. These types of followers, by definition, will never convert to customers. Take this nice seeming lady as an example, Yasmin Corbeau branding. I don't think she's here to learn about Meghan. I think she's here to learn about branding. Might like Meghan, might be a real fan, but is probably not going to have a $150 linen shirt mailed to Brazil. And take a look at this approval ratings timeline from Statista. According to People magazine, which always portrays her in her best light, the UK is one of her top markets. In fact, the show debuted ranked higher in the UK than in the US. In the UK, it hit number 7 on the top 10 chart. In the US, it only hit number 10. Yet, according to a survey of over 2,200 adult British respondents between October 2019 and February 2025, Meghan's popularity has sunk. Meghan's disapproval rating has shot up. From November 2022 till February 2025, it's gone up and down a bit, but never fewer than 60%, and occasionally, including most recently in February 2025, up to 68% of UK adults actively disapprove of Meghan. Meanwhile, her approval rating, those who actively approve of her, has been going down since October 2019, where she only started out at 55% approval, but then, of course, after after the Oprah interview, etc., it sunk and sunk and sunk. As of February 2025, only 21% of UK adults actively approve of her. This clearly indicates that many of her followers are hate follows, and that standard influencer sell-through metrics don't apply to her. Generally speaking, around 1 to 2% of an influencer's following will purchase a product they promote by name. But obviously, the same simply cannot be said of Meghan. Her sell through has to be estimated much more conservatively. All right, let's check out the ShopMy. Okay, so the My Closet section is not tacky, except for this horrid backless dress she wore in Nigeria. Why in the world she would want to remind anyone of that bewilders me. But overall, it's giving dress code. Anyone who went to an American boarding school in the 90s and was therefore limited to buying 3 pieces per season from the J. Crew catalog can relate to this selection. Let's check out the beauty section. Oh, I think Daniel chose this stuff. Jane Iredale, Arcona, Veleda Skin Food. These are not treating yourself at Saks type brands. And she's got Amazon links. Yikes. Ted is going to be pissed. And also, there are so many counterfeit products on Amazon. It's actually quite dangerous to buy beauty and cosmetics there. I think there's also a bit of friends and family promo here with the Tatcha products. I suppose to thank the founder for being on her show. But these Tatcha products are not the heroes. They're not the classics in the line. It's the stuff that's probably a tougher sell. And I don't think that's a coincidence. Meghan's getting stuck with the hard to move merch. Okay, here's my overall impression. I personally will never use any of her links. Further, I will never support a company she owns a stake in, whether they're fair trade or woman owned or not. Sorry, I don't deal with the devil. Personally, there's no amount of money that would inspire me to accept her investment, and I can't respect those who do. So I hope she brags about all of the companies she's invested in or collaborated with or co-founded on her new female founder podcast so I can stay away. What about you? What percentage of her followers do you think are fake or hate watching? Would you ever buy something from Meghan? Would you avoid brands just for associating with her? Or am I just being a witch? Let me know in the comments below. Toodles. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.